Hello stampers and crafters, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sarah McGuire from Sassy Paper Crafts. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today's card is this one. We're going to be using the Pick of the Patch bundle all week long. It is a photopolymer stamp set and coordinating punch that punches out these pumpkins here, the leaves and the stem. Super easy to use, and I'm going to show you exactly how to make this card. So if you want to see how to make this card, please keep watching. So to start our card, first we need to do a little bit of stamping. I've basically created my own designer series paper here as the backdrop. We also need to stamp 2 pumpkins, 2 leaves, and 2 stems, and of course our sentiment. I'm going to leave the card here just as a reference. First we're going to stamp our designer series paper with Pumpkin Pie and Mossy Meadow. So we're only using 2 colors for this whole card. My Mossy Meadow is kind of being weird, it's like leaking or something, and my pumpkin pumpkin pie is a little bit juicy, so I'm going to take a scrap piece of basic white and I'm just going to kind of spread out that ink a little bit. It's a little bit much and it's kind of bubbling up on me, so if you take just a scrap piece of paper, spread it out, you're really not losing any ink. I'm depositing it all back onto the ink pad, but it's just spreads it out a bit so it's easier to work with. So I'm going to set that there. We're going to start with our leaves. I'm going to show you the stamps we'll be using. So we're going to be using these leaves here, this leaf, the stem, and these 2 pumpkins. Oh, and also the little speckly dots. So this is a photopolymer stamp set with 22 stamps in it. I love it because you can see right through them. So we're going to ink up our leaves first and the pumpkin pie, and I'm just going to kind of randomly stamp these around. I'm turning my stamp as I go. I'm just going to kind of go up and over and around. I'm not going to be afraid to go off the edge a little bit. So I'm going to stamp all of our pumpkin pie leaves and then we can move on to our dots. So now that all of our leaves are stamped with the pumpkin pie, I'm going to leave that out just in case I do want to fill it in a little bit more. I'm going to do the same technique using the dots here and Mossy Meadow. And I'm just going to ink it up and I'm going to kind of go in between the white space here and just kind of fill it in. Again, going off the edge. If you overlap your leaves a little, it's okay, because we're just kind of having the illusion here of the designer series paper, so not all of it will be showing. I'm doing the whole thing though, just because I don't know what pieces will be showing. So I'm just going to continue to do this until I fill in the whole thing. So I filled in with the Mossy Meadow, but I do see some spots where I want to add a couple more leaves. So I'm just going to ink the leaves back up and put a couple more where I want them. This is kind of a busy pattern. I think I'm going to put another dot there, but I like how it turned out. And like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect because we're covering a lot of it up. And I actually think, you know what, we're going to go off the edge a little bit up there and maybe the side there. And I think that should do it. So that's it for our background. Now let's get a scrap piece of basic white, and I gotta find one off to the side here that's a little bit, that will fit into this punch. It's got to be a little bit big because we need 2 of them. This is going to be a little bit short, so I'm going to show you a trick for using that to punch it out. But I have 2 here because we're going to do our pumpkins next. So I'm going to ink this small pumpkin up in pumpkin pie. Now you want to look at your punch. So I noticed my pumpkin, the little ripples here are going that way, so I want to turn my stamp and I'm going to do it like that, and then my other one is facing up. I'm going to ink it up and do that one that way. And now while I have everything out, we're going to clean off our stamps really fast, and then I can stamp my leaves and my sentiment. I'm just going to grab my Stampin' Scrub, spray that with a little bit of Stampin' Mist, and clean off these stamps. There is a wet side here and a dry side. You just scrub on the wet side and then again on the dry side, and you have clean stamps. So if you were doing different color pumpkins, maybe you can quickly clean them. We're done with the pumpkins and the dots and everything, so I'm going to put those away, and then we'll get out our leaf, which is over here, and our sentiment and all that stuff. So we have our sentiment, which is thanks so much, and our stem. And I'll use this one for our leaf. Don't need that black. And I need another scrap piece of basic white. I just kind of keep them over to the side of my desk here. Use that one. And then I need Mossy Meadow for our leaf. How does that go? That goes straight up and down. I think I did the stem in Mossy Meadow as well. We do need 2 of these though. And like I said, my Mossy Meadow is a little bit funky. I'm going to flip that over. We're going to try that again. I don't really know what's going on with it. I think I just need a new ink pad because I've had this Mossy Meadow ink pad for eons, it feels like. Do that. It's a little weird, but it's okay. And then I'm going to grab just this strip here for my stems. Maybe 2 of those as well. Whoops. Actually, I'm going to do that first one again. We're going to go down a little further. Perfect. And then I need pumpkin pie for our sentiment. I have a little piece here. All the measurements and supplies and everything are on my blog, linked in the description of this video. So I'm going to ink up my sentiment, stamp it on this measured piece of basic white. A little crooked, but it'll work. Clean off the stamps again, and then I'll show you my trick for punching out the pumpkins. So now we're ready to punch out our pumpkins, our stems, our leaves. This one is going to be just fine because it is long enough to just go right in there and not get lost. I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute. So we have one pumpkin there. This one though, I can't really hold on to it well, so my trick is a post-it note. I just take a post-it note, put it on the part I'm not punching out, and then I can hold it and get it lined up perfectly over just a hair. And I can punch that out, so we have that pumpkin. And I can actually reuse this post-it note for our leaves. So for this one, I'm going to put it this way and then hold it down at the bottom. That's a little bit crooked. And you're going to get some extra pieces here. Let's see if I can just slide that over. I can. Punch out our next leaf. You're definitely, like I said, going to get some extra pieces. Make sure that's my leaf. It is. Other one is there. Clean up some of this extra. I shouldn't have a problem with the stems. This piece is long enough for me to hold. One stem. And I just went down a little bit just because I wasn't sure if that top of the pumpkin would get in the way. It doesn't, so it still worked out. Save that for another stem. And that's it for punching. So now we're ready to put our card together. So I have my designer series paper that I created. Before we put it to our card base, though, I'm going to grab some of this natural ribbon. This comes from the Copper and Natural Ribbon Combo Pack, which is a part of the All About Autumn suite. I'm just going to kind of roughly measure it, just lay a little bit out, chop the end off there, and then we're going to grab some seal, which I am almost out of seal. But that's okay, I can always get more. I have a little bin full of it. I'm going to do that, and then I'm just going to wrap this around kind of in the middle. And then we can grab our card base, which is pumpkin pie. Again, all the measurements are on my blog. It's the first link in the description of this video. Make sure I have it the right way. And then we're just going to place that down. And if that's popping up on you a little bit, don't worry, because we're sticking our designer series paper and everything right on top of it. So I do have a piece of the All About Autumn designer series paper. I went with the copper and mossy meadow side, but that side's just as beautiful. So you decide which one you would like to use. This layout is great for all different types of cards. I'm going to put that on a piece of mossy meadow that is a 1/4 inch bigger. Oh, and I ran out of seal, so we'll just grab some liquid glue. I'm going to push that over the top, and then I have a circle which I cut out using the Stylish Shapes dies. Let me show you those. These are a great die set just to have for all different types of cards. They come with stitched circles, banners, and squares, and I used the middle circle here to die cut on a piece of vellum. I had a scrap piece of vellum lying around and I wanted to use it up. So we did that. I am going to do the stems a little bit differently than I did on the sample card. For this, I put them right on top there. This way, this time I think I'm going to just put them in the back and kind of hide them a little bit. So I'm going to go and grab some glue dots for that. Grab my take your pick tool. Just peel some glue dots off. Stick them on the back. And then we can take our stem, and I'm not really sure which way is the correct way, but I'm going to do the opposite of what I did. That's what I saw in the catalog, was the little, there's like a piece, let me see if I can show you on the punch. There's like a fatter piece, and I saw that part sticking up in the catalog. So we're going to try that way. And then we can put this down on our vellum. Again, I am out of seal, so I'll just take a little bit of liquid glue. I'll put this one like that, and then we'll take a dimensional to our other pumpkin. Just give it a little bit of height, pop it up, stick that right for, yeah, I think I like the stems behind the pumpkin better. And now I'm going to grab another 2 glue dots. I like to rip this paper off so I don't have such like a long tail following me around. We're going to stick a glue dot on the back of these leaves. Oh, I want it to go that way. There we go. Oh, I don't want to hide the stem though. Go like that. Take one more. Have it facing down. And then we can put this on our card too. And now you want to be careful with vellum. You want to make sure you're putting adhesive on the hidden parts, because if I put it around this clear part, it's going to show through. Even the liquid glue, you'll definitely be able to see the lines. So I'm just going to put this, because it's liquid glue, I'm going to stick it right on there. Make sure it sticks good. And then we can put our sentiment together. I have a piece of pumpkin pie somewhere. There it is. We're going to just take a little bit of this liquid glue and center it on this piece of pumpkin pie, and then I'm going to take a couple more dimensionals to the back of that just to pop it up. And we also want to put the inside in our card. Stick that just like that. For the sample card, I did stamp the corners. I didn't on this one. I forgot, but it's okay. I'm just gonna take a little bit of this liquid glue across the back. Kind of spread it out a little bit so you don't get any bumps. And we're not done yet because I want to add a few of the Neutrals Adhesive Back Sequins. There are 4 colors here. We're going to use the copper ones. And I'm just going to grab 3 of them and just kind of randomly scatter them around, maybe fill in some of the spots on my faux designer series paper. And that is our card. So I hope you enjoyed this card tutorial today. If you have any questions, feel free to comment, or message me about anything you see here. We'll be talking about the Pick of the Patch bundle all week long. I just can't hold anything, so I better go. I hope you enjoyed talking about this bundle this week. If you liked this tutorial, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel to see more videos from me. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.